Hello, I'm Wafflestick, and welcome back to my Minecraft survival series here on the WayStone server. We are currently on Season 2, Episode 18, and I'm going to be fulfilling a suggestion today. We're going to start off this episode by going over to the suggestions wall and going ahead and putting in a player head. Jordan Pretty has actually suggested something for me, so let's go ahead and paste this in here. We should get the player head to put onto the wall right there. Now, Jordan, let me know if that is not your head, because sometimes there could be mistakes or misunderstandings, so it could be totally someone else, but just let me know so that I know I put the right one. We are going to be building a squid farm today. Yes, I thought it'd be quite appropriate, and Jordan had recommended doing this, and I've been sitting around all day thinking of a cool build we could do, and I've already prepped for this episode. So we do have a bunch of glass in here, I believe. If it would stop being so laggy, there we are. So we have a bunch of glass, and I have a bunch in here, which we need to take over to the desert where we do build our squid farm. I'm thinking that's going to be enough glass. That's probably way overkill for it, but just in case, you know, I want some backup blocks just in case I need it. And also I have a bunch of different concrete blocks to work with. And I'm not going to be doing a solid colored build. I'm going to be using these concrete maybe a little bit more sporadically, nothing too solid. So let's get over to the desert and see if we can find a good area to start the squid farm at. After investing some time in clearing out this area, I think this is going to be a big enough space for our squid farm, because I want to make it pretty grand. I want to make it pretty large, and I'm thinking the design is going to be more circular, and the diameter of that circle has yet to be determined. So I think what I'm going to do is probably go with something like a 40 block diameter, and then just dig out some of that chunk until we get to sea level. So we do have a little bit to go for sea level. As you can see, this is still relatively a hilltop compared to some of the water over here. Now, there is a patch of water over there, which I don't think that's going to be a big concern. I didn't realize there was patches out here, which we may have to remove. But this should be an adequate amount of space for what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get this circle and start digging it out. We'll see what we have to do. And shifting sand isn't too difficult, thankfully. It took me longer than I was expecting just to get the circle in place, but we finally have a perfect circle right here. I think this is going to be a big enough area. It's maybe a little bit too big, but hey, I want to go grand with this. I want to make this look awesome, because we have a lot of potential things that we could do make it look awesome. But it's going to take some digging, it's going to take some mending. Thankfully I have mending on all of my tools, so we don't have to worry about that so much. But let's go ahead and I guess fly off and yet again go back to base, gather some stuff, and also go to the end and get mended up, because we need it as of right now, since the shovel is about done for. I've been working on this project for about an hour and 30 minutes, and a lot of it was due to the circle getting corrected. I had to correct the circle a couple of times, so it's been a little bit of a tedious process, but we do finally have the circle where we need it. And the way it operates is you actually have to dig about 3 layers and then start placing in your concrete powder, because concrete powder will fall if you don't have a block under it. So it's a little bit awkward to work with, but I think this method's going to be the fastest if we just done the layers as we go down, because I don't want to dig a whole big hole like this, which is huge, this is enormous, and then have to come back up and do scaffolding and try to fill in all the concrete powder. This is looking pretty good. I mean, it's different. It's a very different design, and I've been wanting to do a bigger design for something, and I think this is going to cut it, because holy cow, this circle is huge. I think I have some fireworks on me. Let's go ahead and take a look here. If we were just to launch off up here, how big would this look? That's crazy. Just take a look at that. This is going to be very cool. Now, I was originally going to actually cover this up, but I don't think I will. I'm not absolutely sure because I want to lead a nether portal into the design, and I think that's going to be mostly viewed from within inside. So it's not really intended to be approached from the top, but it just depends. When we get to the final step of things, I think we'll start deciding on that stuff, but I guess I'll continue working on this big project. It looks like I may be off a block here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Oh, I must have done something here. I must have added in an extra block or something here. Oh, no. Oh, it may actually be okay. I keep counting the walls. Okay, yeah, so it's fine. I just had totally messed that up there. Yeah, it's coming, but it's going very slow. I will go ahead and correct that wall, and I guess we'll just continue digging down until we hit the level that we need for our squid farm. Some time has passed, and I have finally got a beacon going, and we are finally down to the stone. And I've ran into a couple of big things here. Check this out. I threw some items down there. I just recently did an item clear for the server, so that doesn't lag everyone. I had a bunch of blocks laying around here. That's a huge cavern system. I don't know exactly what to do with it. I think maybe what we'll have to do is go down there and light it up. There's also a big ravine on this side, so I guess that's a whole ravine that just stretches up to there with a large cavern system right above it. So leave it to me to have the worst luck running into those things, but I'm going to go ahead and I guess continue filling in these slots. I think this is actually the last slot that I want to fill in. I have a bunch of this black concrete. I have about 4 stacks here, so I'm thinking that will get me far enough. That could change though, because I may need more. But the place I am getting this concrete is slightly a secret until some other people start releasing some episodes. But this is looking pretty nice. We also have a new member on the server, Aiden Guz. I had put him on the WayStone because he's a very active member, and he has been around commenting on the videos and talking to people in the community on the Discord chat for a long time now. And he is recording his own series, so go check him out. I'll be leaving a link in the description below. But we also need to go ahead and dig out one more layer so that we can put our floor down here. My free time is about over with. I've gotten to the point where I am about to run up all my time for today. I've got about an hour left, so I can do some work in that meantime. However, I'm thinking this looks pretty cool. I have used cyan stained concrete for the floor. And don't worry, this isn't going to stay so solidified. I am going to be putting other blocks into the ground. Of course, we do have a lot to cover depending on what we want to do with our farm. I'm thinking probably the best thing to do is go ahead, set up the squid farm tonight, and then have that to decorate around. But this is looking pretty cool. The wall ended up looking a lot better than I normally would have thought it would have. I think it came out looking pretty good. It's definitely a different kind of design when you look at it. It's something you don't see in a lot of worlds, well, because it's such a unique block. And I think it looks pretty good. I'm just seeing the walls. I think this wall may be off. I think I may have to stretch that block there. But I'm not absolutely sure. I know that wall is off, though. There's a couple of walls missing, like little columns missing that I'm going to have to fix pretty soon. Or maybe not. I think maybe this one may be the same, so I think it may be okay. No, it's actually 1 block shorter, so I'll have to figure that out here in a second. But that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to take a lot longer. But this would be kind of a cool PvP arena. And maybe that could be like a future concept using this style of build, but I'm going to go ahead, start working on the squid farm because we have gotten this far, and I don't want to stop now, especially since I have an hour remaining. I think I will be able to make the squid farm in an hour. It's just getting everything lined up. Before the redstone, we need to get a water source in here to make this spawnable for squid. So let's go ahead, do this, get an infinite water source going there. That way we can just repeat the process of gathering it from here, because this is going to be a lot simpler than having to fill in all of the blocks by going down and coming back up. So we do have a nice block here of infinite water. Very good. And now we just got to continue this along all edges. I think that will be good there. There we are. And then we'll let this water go downwards once we get all of these filled in. So it's just a matter of getting this third block here and this one too. And that has evened it all out so that we can dig the source. Now this, I don't think this is a perfect square, but I don't think I really intended it to be. I wanted it to be a little bit oddball compared to what we were doing. So I'm really hoping I didn't mess up on any of the signs down there. I'm really hoping that we do get this whole block of water, and possibly we'll see some squid spawning. So let's go ahead, knock these blocks out. Now I know there is a water source not too far from here, so that could be slightly concerning, but if we do come over here, we do have it nice and filled in, and it gives the deep blue effect. A really cool effect. I really like how that looks. Let me go ahead and fill in this infinite water source because I don't think we'll be needing any more water. Thank you very much. Yeah, that looks good. Only thing is, I'm not seeing any squid spawning. I don't know if it's like immediate or I'm just getting unlucky or what's going on there, but I'm just kind of waiting. See what's going to happen. I don't know. That should be a big enough area. Maybe I'm just impatient. I think that's what it is. It's kind of weird to look up in here. It's kind of strange seeing that from the bottom up. I'm gonna gather all these blocks here because they're just bothering me when I'm trying to look at the design and I see that stuff floating around. Mr. Enderman. Whoa, what? He was just there. So I don't know. I may have to look around in the area to see if there's any places that squid are spawning. Now, if I were to just go ahead and do this, run away in a direction that there isn't any water, so that's toward the farm. If it were to come this way, right, I think we'll start despawning whatever is in that riverway over there. And technically, this would work if we did come through the nether portal. So coming over here, and then going back over here to see if that despawned any of the squid. Because I don't think the spawning rate for squid is that harsh compared to like other mobs. I wonder if that spawned any in. No, it may have not been far enough. My render distance is up quite a bit, so that could be affecting it. I may have to look up some stuff because I think the only thing is we cannot have big water sources around in the area. It's going to dramatically make this thing less efficient. So I may have to do some water blocking and doing all of that. But we will get it to where it needs to be because I'm not going to be doing all this work and it not work. But let me look up some stuff to see if I have done this correctly, and we will get back to it. I'm hungry and it's dark, but don't worry, that doesn't mean anything. I will be getting food soon. But we have figured out the culprit of squid not spawning, and that is due to you having to be 24 blocks away from the squid or than the spawn. I did not remember that. So I had sat here, circled the farm a few times, and I was like, why aren't they spawning? And then I found out that you have to be about 24 blocks away. So if we were to go in here, all the way to the end of this corridor I have made, then they'll start spawning. So that's something to take in consideration whenever we are doing more of the design in here. And as you can see, it is working quite well. It's actually pretty efficient for how big it is. It's not a very big farm, but I am getting loads of ink sacks on the ground. And this could become very useful because I could always use some ink sacks if I need them. So I started thinking of something to do with this side, since if I do traverse in this side, then it makes it less likely that squid will spawn in different areas. So this side is a lot more dry than that side because there is a river not too far, but far enough from the squid farm. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out a cool design that I could implement into this wall, and I'm thinking I want to do some kind of arch. and maybe go with some stone brick stuff, but I'm not absolutely sure. I don't really want to taint the design that we have going on with a bunch of stone. I just don't know about that. But I'm going to go ahead and I guess get to work on this wall, get some food, and then I'll probably go to sleep because it is very late and it's time for me to go to bed because I've got to get up, go to work, come back, rinse and repeat until we get this episode complete. Right, I think that's everything in place. I have a very crude looking transportation system here, and I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but a transportation system's not really something I'm really concerned with. We have a big cavern system here that we just kind of went through, and we now have our item elevator in place, and I have already placed the chests. I have everything lined up just perfectly, and we have all of our redstone. So you guys have probably seen enough item elevators by myself here. But we do have some of these ink sacks coming into the system right now. They're going to be going upwards into our chest, which is in our storage system up above us. But we haven't even gotten to the best part. If we can find the entryway here. Now, I did gather all this concrete from a sand generator, but I'm going to probably be taking that thing out because it's kind of unfair. I don't know, duplicating sand's kind of a weird thing. I don't know, it's personally something I'm not a big fan of. And I'm going to stop using it at some point, but this build, as a result of that, has been absolutely awesome. I mean, look how many squid we got in here. Holy cow. I know that there are some actual stragglers there. We do have some ink sacks that are just kind of floating along the rim there. But considering that only being that minimal amount of loss, I don't think it's going to matter so much. I don't think it is. Unless I'm just lining those hoppers up weird. I don't think I was. I think I did those hoppers correctly. But looking at this, we do have our squid drowning there, and they are going into the system over here, and we are collecting ink sacks already. So you have to be, like I said in the last clip, you got to be about 24 blocks away for them to start spawning. But yes, I have fully decorated up the farm, and I think it looks lovely. I have done some like tear drop things, some water droplets coming from the top up there, and I had decided to go some of the stain panes to accentuate the design a little bit. It was a little bit bland with nothing there and only stone brick, but I think that really complements the design well. And this build has come out really well. It's kind of odd because no one's going to really be in here. But if someone did want to come in here and admire the area and see all the work that we have done, then they could. So I thought that was kind of neat. The last thing that we've got to do for this build is go ahead and decorate this room up, which is going to be our AFK room and also our storage system. So I think I'm going to leave it about like this because there's no way someone's going to need that much ink sacks. I mean, you don't have to line the whole wall up. Of course, I guess I could do something to kind of further the progression over here, but let me just go ahead, see if we can get this place decorated up, and I'll catch you guys here in a second. So I ran into the dilemma, should I stay up and complete this project, or should I go to bed so that I'll be well rested for work tomorrow? Well, guess what? I have decided. We have a completed AFK room so that we can have our squids to spawn and come into our actual storage system. But let's go ahead and do a main tour of this. Imagine that this is another portal and we have come in to gather some ink sacks. We come in, we see this room, it's quite beautiful. I like the color scheme. Maybe a little bit less effort in here than it was in there. But we do have an AFK room right here, and also we do have our item storage system that our ink sacks are going into. And this is a quite efficient farm. I've only been here for probably about an hour and a half working on this, so it's quite efficient. And we also have some of the essentials right here, which is really lovely, just in case we need to access our ender chest, or if we need to get into our furnace, anything like that. We have the item transportation system so that whenever we do look in here, we might find a 50% off deal on an ink sack. Now, wouldn't that be great? And possibly, well, you guys know what that is. But let's go ahead and go in here and take a look at the main concept. Ooh, yes. That took quite a bit of work, guys. And I must say, even for a squid farm, even though this is kind of overkill for the decoration of a squid farm, I am super satisfied with this build. I have been wanting to do slightly of a bigger project for one of my videos, and this has really satisfied that craving. I think this looks awesome. I just can't get over how long it took, but the final outcome is very nice. And I must say, that's going to probably be about it for this episode, guys. Hope you did enjoy watching, and let me know if you like these kind of projects. Do you want me to do more of them? Do you want me to use more colors and try different blocks? Because I really try to aim for that. But I'm going to go ahead and dip out for this episode, guys. You guys take care, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in a video later down the road.